This is Anne Ashley, the account executive.
And then I say, this is Isabel Bauer from the Embassy of Switzerland. She is, I don't know what your job title is. Should I say I'd like to introduce Isabel?
No. Is our hair okay? Nothing sticking out?
I knew it. We can do several takes. I can pour it over Isabel's head.
It's the behind the scenes of the behind the scenes.
My outtakes are better than the intakes or whatever they are.
This is harder than it looks.
This is Isabel Bauer from the Embassy of Switzerland, and she is the head of planning and all things Soirée Suisse.
And this is Anne Ashley, the account executive from Susan Gage Caterers. And we have worked together for 10 years now. And we are here to spill the tea about the behind the scenes of the Soirée Suisse.
We're actually going to spill the cocktail.
Either way. The Soirée Suisse is the largest event the Swiss government hosts each year. It started out in 2001, so 20 years ago, as a smaller 200 guest only event and has now grown to 1,500 people. The purpose of the Soirée Suisse is to say thank you to our American counterparts and to expand our current network. Okay, Anne, let's play a game. What are the stations and locations of the Soirée Suisse? Whoever runs out of them loses. I'll go first.
Okay.
Red carpet.
Main stage where the ambassador's remarks are.
Absent bar on the terrace.
The buffets and the big tent.
Topic elements each year in the residence.
The specialty cocktail bar on the lawn.
The Swiss whiskey bar also on the lawn.
And the raclette stations on the lower lawn by the pool.
Sausage stations also by the lower pool.
And the after party and the fun band stage down by the pool.
And the half covered pool down by the pool. The numbers that best describe the event is 5, 7, 45, 24, and 1. 5, because we have about 5 months of preparation that it takes to get ready for the Soirée Suisse. About 7 and 10 stays of setup for the large tent outside, for 2 stages, for extra platforms to allow some space for the topics, and for a long red carpet on the residence driveway that is 128 feet long. 45, because it takes about 45 meetings with all kinds of people from the embassy and catering to meet and figure out what the Soirée Suisse will be. 24 raclette volunteers who serve the 16 wheels at our Swiss chalets, and 1 very fun cocktail tasting where we figure out the signature cocktail for the Soirée Suisse each year. Cheers.
Cheers. Every year, an absolute highlight of the Soirée Suisse is located on the back patio, and that is the Absinthe Bar. It is well received by all guests. A few years ago, we had a chocolate fountain, and it was incredible and very chocolatey. It may have left a few chocolate stains in the embassy, or in the residence at least. Almost every year, we end up serving on our main buffets Soiree Geschnetzels, which is a sauteed veal dish that our chef has demonstrated. You can check that video out.
I'll continue with a culinary highlight. A few years ago, I think it was in 2018, we had the topic of the future of food, and we had an insect station, which was very popular. Another highlight was to have Claude Nicollier, a former Swiss astronaut, at the Soirée Suisse. That was a few years ago. And the third one is make your own Swiss Army knife. We had a few years ago, it was a very popular station. We had lots of guests stand in line for it. They could make their own Swiss Army knife and see the intricacies of how a Swiss Army knife is made and walk away with one. So that was very fun.
Some of the bloopers that I remember, well, fortunately, I have to say they don't happen too often. We're very well planned and rehearsed. However, in 2018, Hurricane Helen was bearing down on the Washington, D.C. area. First of all, none of our installations really went together like they should. The fronts of bars were falling off, but the exciting detail was I had to sleep in my car that night, not for any other reason that I needed to manage the loadout and the breakdown of all of our vendors.
While Anne was sleeping in her car, I was sleeping in my office. So That was something. That was something fun.
That was.
Then another year we have a very large carpet and it's rolled up, and while it was rolled up, it rolled into another car, damaging it. Since then we have event insurance. And then we had 2 guests that had too much fun leaving the party. I happened to stand by the residence gate, and 2 ladies were walking out with a lamp from the residence, which I then very kindly retrieved and wished them a good evening.
And as the caterers and we're in charge of cleanup, we sometimes find sausages in the pool. That's an odd thing. And we've also over the years found a few people who have accidentally backed into the pool or fallen into the pool during the festivities.
Well, that was it, the behind the scenes of the Soirée Suisse. It has been such a pleasure to work with you over all these 10 years.
Yes.
And I look forward to getting back into person sometime soon.
Yes, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Most of them are not appropriate.
Do you know these big rolls? Yes. It just rolled down the thing and then rolled into a car. I don't know whose, I think it was a vendor's car. That was the year for the ants.
And I slept in my car. That was the lowest of the low.
Did I notice that?
I told you because I knew you would notice.